pick up right from where we left off and create our first database from within dbeaver. On screen now you can see the simple query which accomplishes this. Create database companies. Let's take a moment here to remember what exactly a database means in this context. A database can be thought of as a logical grouping containing tables. So in a relational database such as MariaDB, there's going to be a server. That term server typically is used to refer to one or more machines on which this software of MariaDB runs. That server is going to host many different databases, and each of those databases is in turn going to contain many different tables. Let's go ahead and run this command, and we can see from the results pane down below that there's been one additional updated row, and the query, which was to create database companies, has run through successfully. In case you're wondering why it says that one row has been updated, well, that's because a metadata table contained within this MariaDB server, which contains a list of all databases, has been updated. That metadata table now contains one additional row, which is the companies row. We can examine the contents of that metadata table, and we'll do that in a moment by using the show databases command. Let's confirm that this is indeed the case by running yet another query. This is the show databases command. And when we run this command, in the results pane, we can see a list of all databases hosted on this particular MariaDB server. And there you can see that the very first row is the database companies, which we just created. Note that this list of databases is more up to date than the list which we can see in the database navigator over on the top left. That list does not automatically refresh. And that's why the company's database does not show up in the list of databases in that pane. That's fine. We could either choose to explicitly refresh it ourselves by right-clicking, or we can just wait for MariaDB and dbeaver to update it whenever convenient to them. Let's now go ahead and run a few more commands. The next command we try is show global variables. This is a list of all variables or system-related information stored in named variables. The keyword global indicates that these span different databases. And when we execute this query, in the results pane down below, we get a list of variable names and their values. So for instance, the first of these is alter algorithm and the value is default. Most of these variables really matter only to power users. For our purposes right now, the defaults are going to work just fine. But even so, you should be aware that these global variables can be used to control a lot of fine-grained aspects of how dbeaver